There is way too much stuff. I can't remember the last time I sat down to watch, play, or listen to something without getting stuck scrolling through the endless abyss of content. There's too many shows, too many movies, too many YouTube videos, too many songs, too many games, too many books. It really bothers me that I will never be able to consume all the media I want to. There's just so much stuff, and it's all so overwhelming. There's only certain times of the day where I feel comfortable engaging with media, and a lot of the time, I waste it by scrolling through the infinite number of options. I almost always feel like I picked the wrong thing. This dilemma is called analysis paralysis, or the paradox of choice. It's where your brain thinks more options is better, but actually it would rather have less options because that's easier for decision making. Our brains might think Netflix's practically infinite amount of movies and shows is awesome, but in actuality, most people just end up scrolling, trying to find something, they don't find something, and then they end up watching something they were half interested in. There was a show I used to watch as a kid, Brain Games, on National Geographic, and in one episode they showed an example of this with 2 ice cream shops, one with 3 options and one with 12.
You probably said the one with more options. Okay, let's do that. Now, decide which flavor you want. You can choose between cookie dough, mint chocolate chip, caramel swirl, cookies and cream, chocolate chip, Rocky Road, butter pecan, pistachio, vanilla fudge ripple, birthday cake, rum raisin, and coffee. Okay, make your decision now. Are you happy with the choice you made? Or is it proving difficult?
There's also a very good TED Talk and book from psychologist Barry Schwartz that goes into this topic in detail. I find myself incapable of making decisions pretty much every day. There's all these shows and movies in the back of my mind that I want to watch, but I just haven't had the time. Or I have had the time, and I just didn't use it. I still need to watch the rest of Twin Peaks and Better Call Saul, and like every Martin Scorsese movie. I always want to stick with the stuff I know I like, which is why I always end up rewatching or replaying things. But I also want to try new things. I really don't like how algorithms get you stuck in a little bubble. There's content out there that I would probably love that I'll never get served because my algorithms are all in a bubble. I don't think I'll ever be able to fully combat the feeling that I'll never be able to see and do everything, but I have found some ways to make it better. Now, I know not everyone deals with this as much as I do. I've got ADHD and anxiety, and I'm just an extremely indecisive person. If at any point it seems like I'm over-dramatizing, trust me, I'm not trying to make it seem like that. I know there's worse things going on in the world than me not having the motivation to watch True Detective. But if you do struggle with this or know someone who does, I'm hoping this video can be at least a little bit helpful. Even if you do have to dumb it down a little bit. Now, to the couch. All right. Hey, welcome to the couch. So the thing I have the most difficulty sitting down and engaging with is movies. It's hard for me to find a movie to watch because the way that the streaming services are set up makes it way more stressful than it should be. And sometimes I have a lot of trouble watching a movie by myself, which I want to be able to do because I love watching movies. If I'm with someone else, no problem, especially if I'm at a theater. But by myself, I almost always choose video games or YouTube videos before a movie or even a show. I think there's a part of my brain that just associates watching a movie with being with other people because that's just what I grew up doing. The first feeling that I get when I'm trying to watch a movie by myself is loneliness, which is really annoying. I can do all these other things by myself. Why can't I just do this one thing? And that feeling's pretty abnormal for me because I love my alone time. Dare I say, sometimes it's my favorite time of the day. For me, watching a movie has 2 overwhelming steps that makes it difficult to commit to actually watching it. Deciding on a movie and then actually watching it. For the first part, I think a big help would be to just stop choosing a movie based on an algorithm, because that's where I and the majority of people end up getting overwhelmed. We've all been there. You scroll and scroll trying to find a movie to watch, but you literally just can't because there's too many good options or only bad options. So you just watch a random episode of Avatar for the 100th time. So if you're struggling with that aspect of watching movies, my advice would be to just stop scrolling through the streaming services. I think it's significantly easier to quit scrolling on Netflix than it is to quit like TikTok or YouTube. So if you find yourself scrolling and scrolling through Netflix shows and movies, having no idea what to watch, just get recommendations elsewhere. And Netflix is just the place that you watch them. Don't worry about their algorithms, because they're scary. The way I get movie recs is mostly through friends, and then if I'm really desperate, I'll look up movies similar to a movie or a genre I already like on like Reddit or something. And I've even started watching a couple of shows and movies from just listening to podcasts. The second potentially overwhelming step of watching movies, actually watching them. I think one part of it for me is how movies always have a set period of time, and I'm the sort of person that wants to be able to watch the whole thing. Video games you could play for 20 minutes or 4 hours and it doesn't really matter. Same thing applies to YouTube videos. When you pause a YouTube video, it's not as bad as when you have to pause a movie. because the stakes are a lot lower. You're usually not invested in some characters and story. I mean, there are some, but most of the time, you're not watching a movie on YouTube. YouTube. Why'd I say it like that? Hey, I'm YouTubing here. If you're watching a movie, and it's a good movie, you'll be thinking about the characters and you'll be invested in the story. Leaving it unfinished just sucks because your mind lingers in that part of the story. So whatever the ending is, whenever you choose to finish it, you're going to feel different about it than if you had just watched it in one sitting. And you won't be in the same emotional space you were in when you were watching it before, which makes it just a worse experience. Another dilemma is I find myself being worried that I'll get so invested in the movie that I end up staying up too late, or I lose track of time when I need to go somewhere. And that anxiety keeps me from getting started in the first place. Solution: stop overthinking everything. Okay, it's not as simple as that. And for me, guy ADHD, I can't just turn it off. While I'm writing this video, not sure why I wrote that in present tense. I'm reading this in the future, saying it as if it was in the present. Anyways, while I'm writing this video, I'm planning to watch Project Hail Mary, a movie that I've been putting off watching by myself tomorrow. This is something that helps me. Planning a date and time that I'm going to watch the movie really helps me actually do it, because just deciding in the moment is probably going to be way too stressful for me. So planning in advance at a time I'm going to be able to watch the whole thing and it's not going to stress me out, that helps out a lot. Besides that, that's pretty much all I can do. I'm planning to increase the rate at which I watch movies over time, and hopefully that'll make it less of a hassle to watch movies and it won't stress me out as much. So getting recommendations and planning a day and time to do things, for the most part, works. And I also can apply it to other things like reading books or listening to music albums. With reading, a lot of the time, I just have no idea where to look for recommendations, and then I just ask and someone gives me one, and I love it, and Sunshine and Rainbows or whatever. There's not really a book algorithm that I can think of off the top of my head, but there are a lot for music. I use Spotify, and sometimes I hate it. Like YouTube, TikTok, or even Netflix, you get stuck in your little music bubble, and it makes it really hard to find new music. So you kind of have to go out of your way to get recommendations. RateYourMusic.com, while it has the potential to be extremely pretentious, is pretty good sometimes. Especially if you like albums, you want album recommendations. That's like the album site. If you're into that, Rate Your Music is pretty great. Just not if you're looking for fun gym music or something. For that, the Spotify algorithm works fine. And then you'll find songs like that on TikTok. I listen to TikTok music in the gym. I'm not ashamed. It's fine. I'm okay with that. Okay, so the stuff that's easier for me, YouTube and video games, can still get kind of overwhelming. And for the most part, I find it a lot less stressful to rely on an algorithm for these sites. It's still annoying that I won't be able to watch every video or play every game, but Steam has a really good algorithm that a lot of the time, unless it's sponsored or something, they're gonna show you just what's popular and also some stuff they think you'll like, but it's kind of really hard to get stuck in a bubble on Steam. YouTube is slightly less good, and dare I say, a lot of the time it's really bad, but the algorithm does show me when one of the channels I'm subscribed to uploads, and I can always just get channel recommendations from other people. The goal here is not to get overwhelmed by the unbelievable amount of content there is. Sometimes I get overwhelmed by all the games on my backlog, and then I get hyperfixated on one particular franchise and I start knocking them out like crazy. Oh, that's a great solution. Just be neurodivergent. Just get obnoxiously locked in to the point where it feels like that is the only thing in existence. I'm realizing being neurodivergent is probably a big factor in how much this particular issue affects people. Oops. Okay, another important thing. Spend time with other people. Don't live behind a screen. This is something I've had to remind myself of in the past few months. If I stay inside all day, working and playing video games, everything is going to seem more stressful. Leaving your house and being with people forces you to get away from the infinite content, and can even give you motivation to do stuff when you're on your own time. A lot of the strategies I'm talking about in this video can also apply to stuff outside of media, like work and day-to-day tasks. But for me personally, I don't need to plan ahead for those things, because that's my life. I do that stuff every day. So it's not as stressful as something optional like watching a movie. Sometimes I get in the mentality of, why watch movie when can work on YouTube video? I know I'm extremely tired and can't possibly get any more work done, but just choosing a movie takes so much effort. This is why I plan in advance. I do that. If I'm thinking about watching a movie, I'll put that energy towards figuring out when I'm going to watch it. If I'm thinking about reading a book, I'll put that energy towards when am I going to read it? Depending on who you are, it might not be that simple or it might be easier, but this is what works for me on a day-to-day basis so that I can use my time in a way that I enjoy, rather than getting in a stressed out state trying to decide what to watch. Now, I do think sometimes it's incredibly difficult to do this if you're hanging out with friends that are spontaneous and just want to decide stuff in the moment. I'm the sort of person that can be very direct without being rude. I don't want to be rude, but I am the sort of person who will say, yeah, I need that to be planned ahead of time, or someone else make the decision, because I will stress myself out. Also, I do think being indecisive is something that can be worked on. It's hard for some, like me, but with anything, if you push yourself, it probably will get better. I mean, there's no cure other than just keep doing it, I guess. I still suck at making decisions, and I think I'm getting better. But truthfully, all you can really do is just keep putting yourself in situations where you have to make decisions. Small ones, not stuff that's like too crazy, but just doing it a lot. Okay, that's my attempt at giving advice to indecisive people who are living in a world where we constantly have to make really tiny decisions. If you have any advice or there's something you struggle with that I didn't end up mentioning, comment it down below. Thank you for watching. I love making these videos. I love hearing what you guys have to say. This is such a fun thing that I get to do. So just thank you for those of you who stick around, who just like watching my videos. Thank you. I genuinely appreciate you. I'm gonna go. Okay. I'm leaving. I'll leave. No, you first. You go. Goodbye.